You're making tea, slowly, taking a little longer than you need to. A few seconds ago, something was said. Not an insult exactly, just a few words. And now you're standing at the counter with the cup in your hands, and your face is completely calm. You're still in the room, but inside, you've already closed off. Quietly, almost imperceptibly, like closing the door to an empty room.
You won't say anything. Not now, maybe not ever. Because by the time words finally feel possible, the pain has already shifted into something else. Something duller, more manageable. And talking about it, it just doesn't seem worth it anymore. If you know that feeling, it's not a personality flaw. It's not a choice. It's something much deeper than that. When something hurts you, you don't raise your voice. You don't break down in front of people. You don't explain yourself. You just go quiet. You pull inward. And from the outside, that looks like a lot of different things. Coldness, the silent treatment, shutting down. The people around you don't know what's happening. They can't tell if they did something wrong, if you're angry, if you're fine, if they should reach out or give you space. But inside you, it's anything but quiet. Here's something most people don't realize. Going silent when you're hurt isn't a decision. It's physiology. When emotional pain hits hard enough, the nervous system does something researchers call a freeze response. Not fight, not flight, freeze. It's the third option, and it's just as automatic as the other two. Your throat tightens, your mind goes blank. Words don't come, not because you don't have them, but because your brain is actually suppressing the areas responsible for producing speech. Studies on emotional flooding have shown that when we're overwhelmed, the language centers in the brain become significantly less active. Speaking doesn't just feel hard. It is hard, physically, neurologically hard.
And here's the part that makes it even more invisible. On the outside, you look calm, composed even. But research by James Gross at UC Berkeley showed that when we suppress an emotional response externally, the opposite happens internally. Heart rate goes up, blood pressure rises. The body is processing everything that wasn't expressed, just without any witnesses. The silence on the surface isn't peace. It's invisible labor, work that no one else can see. So where does this come from? John Bowlby, one of the founders of attachment theory, described a simple and devastating mechanic. We learn how to handle pain in our earliest relationships. A child who comes to a parent with hurt feelings and hears, "Stop crying, you're fine, don't be so sensitive." That child draws the only conclusion available to them. Vulnerability is dangerous. Not because it's true, but because that's what the evidence showed at the time. John Gottman, who spent decades studying families, found something that builds on this. Children whose emotions were routinely dismissed or ignored didn't just stop expressing those emotions, they stopped trusting them. As if the pain that no one ever acknowledged slowly lost its right to exist.
And so a person grows up who has learned to carry a lot. On the outside, steady, reliable, composed. On the inside, replaying the same moment over and over, composing exactly what they wish they could say, and then saying nothing, because there's no certainty it will land, because the risk of being misunderstood is one they know too well. But here's what rarely gets said out loud. Inside that silence, there's almost always waiting. Not always conscious, but it's there. You go quiet, you pull back, and somewhere underneath it all, you're watching. Will they notice? Will they feel that something's off? Will they come to you on their own without being asked? This isn't manipulation. It's a test. Your nervous system is searching for the answer to a question that feels too risky to ask directly. Can you see me, even when I'm not saying anything? When someone close to you does notice, when they reach out without being prompted, something loosens. It gets a little safer. Maybe the next time, speaking up feels slightly more possible. Because the nervous system got confirmation that it's okay here, that this is a place where showing up is allowed. But this is where things get genuinely difficult. The person with you cannot read your mind. They see the silence. They don't know what's behind it. They might decide everything is fine because you didn't say otherwise. Or they think you're angry and don't want to talk. Or they know something is wrong but have no idea what. And they're sitting there wondering whether to push or back off. And they wait. Or they walk away, or they get frustrated.
And then the silence that started as protection starts doing something different. It starts shaping when connection is even possible between you. It decides whether there will be an attempt to get close and when. It's no longer just a defense. It becomes an unspoken force that determines the rhythm of the relationship. Not because you want control, but because this was the only tool you were ever given. Silence isn't bad. A pause is often necessary. The body does what it knows how to do. Sometimes words genuinely don't come, and that's okay. Psychologists talk about a window of tolerance, a state in which a real conversation is actually possible. Waiting for that window to open isn't avoiding dialogue, it's preparing for it. But there is a difference between "I need some time, and then I'll tell you," and silence that stretches until the other person figures it out on their own. The first one is self-respect. It's also respect for the relationship. The second one carries real risk of being misunderstood again, of quietly confirming one more time that speaking up isn't worth it. People who go quiet when they're hurt aren't cold. They're not punishing anyone. They learned to hold too much inside at a time when that was the only way to survive what they were feeling. And somewhere inside, they're still waiting for someone who will notice without being told, who will say, "I can see that something happened. I'm not going anywhere. You don't have to explain. Just know that I see you." Maybe that person is you, and maybe the one who needs to hear that is you too.